Hey guys, Dan Miller Show here. Today we're going to talk about the top 5 trades that I think the Buffalo Bills have that could make and do that. Justin Jefferson is definitely on that list. Number one for me is Justin Jefferson. I think we can get Justin Jefferson on the Buffalo Bills on the trade. Let's do it. Let's say I'm the GM and I'm going to go offer and say, hey, you know what? Let's see. Minnesota, I'll give you a second round pick. Keon Coleman and next year's fourth round pick. 2027 fourth round pick. So second round 2026. Keon Coleman and a fourth of 2027. Let's do it. Sign up for it. It might cost you a first, then it might not. So who knows? But that's number one. Number two on that list for me, it'll be Max Crosby. He wants out. He already said that. Jefferson is one out. So Max Crosby, he wants out. And, you know, he said that in Super Bowl week, you know, Radio Row in Super Bowl week and stuff like that. He wants out. He's still young, stuff like that. So Bills could trade for him, you know, a third, AJ Epinesa and Keon Coleman as well, or unless you go to Jefferson with it, then you're cool, whatever, we'll give you, like Jefferson, we'll give you Coleman, second round 2026, and a fourth 2027. With Max Crosby, you can do a third round of this year if you wanted to, and a third round next year, or second. You could do a second next year as well. Say next year, a second next year, 2027, third round this year. Now you got your wide receiver. You got Max Crosby. Let's do it. So get in there. Another person I have on my list, besides Justin Jefferson and Max Crosby, is A.J. Brown. You could trade for him. He's unhappy there. Do we want him? Yes. Do we need him? Maybe. But you never know. That could help us in the long run and everything. We'll see what happens with that and everything. So hopefully, maybe we can get A.J. Brown. Maybe the locker room, whatever, but we're changing cultures. We're new coach, new coaching staffs. The offense is pretty much staying the same. New defense and everything as well. So Max Crosby and Justin Jefferson, top of the list. The other person on top of the list is Jaylen Waddle. Man, I would want Waddle. We were this close getting him during the trade deadline this year. We'd be in the Super Bowl if we had him. If Bean would have pulled the freaking trigger, we would have had him. What the F? You know what I'm saying? What the F? Now, we can still do it. We can still get Waddle. Tua is out. They already said they're done with him. Arizona's done with their quarterback. Who knows where Tua goes. I mean, they got to pay that contract or whatever that they gave him, but he's out. So, Waddle, got Josh Allen, the best quarterback in the NFL. Everybody say, oh, Drake May, because he got second in voting. Whatever. You have the easiest schedule in the world, New England Patriots. Easiest schedule ever. Hell, you cakewalked into the Super Bowl and then got smoked offensively and defensively, got smoked. And special teams, by the way. Because the kicker kicked 5 field goals, Super Bowl franchise record, franchise record, whatever. You know, he should have been MVP to me. I mean, no offense to Walker, but Walker deserved it as well. But, you know, but they were just, Seattle was just dominant. And they cakewalked you. Oh, we played, you know, Denver. You played Denver with a backup quarterback. If Bo Nix was playing Super Bowl, they'd be in there, not you. So, get over it. We'll see what you got a tough schedule next year. You got the 6th toughest schedule. Bills have 8. Miami's number 2. So, Chicago's number 1. So we'll see. We'll see what you got, New England. Your offensive line on the left side sucks. So, you know, if we almost beat Denver with all the turnovers that we did, just imagine if we didn't turn the ball over. You know what I mean? We would have killed them. So it was our fault. We beat ourselves. That is it. Anyways, Jayden Waddle on top of the list. Demetri Johnson from the New York Jets, defensive end. He would be a guy I would want as well. So hopefully that will, you know, determine that for me and everything. So that'd be great if we could do that. We'll have to wait and see what happens. You know, with the combine is at the end of the month, and then we got the new league year starts March 11th. So some things will be kicking off, you know. So congratulations, Joe Brady and the coaching staff, Jim Leonard. I'm glad you're here as the defensive coordinator. Will be interesting what they do for defense and offense. So, like I said, I got pass rusher, Max Crosby, Justin Jefferson is the wide receiver, Demetri Johnson, defensive end, A.J. Brown, wide receiver. So you got 2 defense, 2, you know, offense, or 3 offense. We got A.J. Brown, Waddle, Jefferson, and then, you know, Max Crosby and Johnson to help us. So they're going to redo the line. Trey White, I think he's going to stay here on a cheap deal. His contract ends and everything. But I think he'll stay here as a depth piece to help out other, you know, corners as well. They could probably go out and get a safety as well. So we'll have to wait and see what happens with that and everything. So, you know, who knows? You know, we'll do my top 5 NFL draft picks for wide receivers. We're part 2 right now. You know what? Let's do it right now. Colonel Tate, he's 6'3", 157 pounds. From Ohio State, which is a school I like, Ohio State. He runs a 4.60. Right now, 4.6. Jordan Tyson, wide receiver from Arizona State. He's 6'2". You got Denzel Boston from Washington. He's 6'4". He's a big, bold receiver. We also have Lehman, wide receiver from USC. He's 5'11", though. He's a playmaker. Short, but 5'11". Just short of 6 foot. Casey Kennery, wide receiver from Texas A&M. He's a versatile threat. So, you know, there's some good guys wide receiver wise. If we don't trade the number 1 pick, or number 2, depending on where they go, even middle, you know. But if you trade to get Justin Jefferson, Brown, or Waddle, my number 1 would be Justin Jefferson, Waddle, then Brown, if you had to. or maybe somebody else we're not thinking of. Maybe the guy from Pierce from Indianapolis. But Justin Jefferson number 1, Waddle number 2, maybe Pierce number 3, and then maybe AJ Brown number 4. If we do 4 right there. But you know, the wide receiver draft, we'll see. I mean, Tate, Tyson, Boston, Leon, and Kaepernick from Texas and A&M. The virtual threats. You got the playmakers. You got the big, bold receiver. I'm not sure about Jordan Tyson from Arizona State. Tate, you know, he runs a 4.6. He's 6'3". You know, just shy of 102 pounds, 195 pounds. From Ohio State, so you know he's big too, so he could help. But we'll have to wait and see what happens with that and everything. So hopefully you guys will stay tuned and we'll get more. We'll see what happens for trades and free agency when that starts up real quick. So that'll be happening out soon for the Buffalo Bills. So for the Buffalo Bills also is that they signed Bushell and Virgil for the wide receiver to the roster moves, they say, which is good. I think, you know, we'll have to see what happens with the backup with Mitch Trubisky and everything. So we'll have to see what goes down with that. Excuse me. And everything, and hopefully, you know, they'll be great for the Buffalo Bills to have him as a backup. Kansas City's going to need a quarterback, you know, because Trubisky go there and he'll start until Patrick Mahomes is ready. You know, their backup, he got hurt a week later, so they'll probably be back at the same time, depending on rehab goes and surgery and everything. So there's teams are going to need quarterbacks. Arizona probably, the Raiders, Kansas City needs one. So maybe they'll make a trade and go out to San Francisco and get what's his name? I can't think of his name right now, but you know what I'm talking about. So we'll see with but for the Buffalo Bills, to me and everything. So hopefully that will be good for the Buffalo Bills to make trades to get Jefferson, Waddle, Brown, Max Crosby. If they could do both, it'd be great. You know, they got to do cap compliance and everything before March 11th, before the new year. So they're going to